It's a brand new day. I'm so excited. Look at this view. Isn't it fabulous? My task today is to cook something spectacular using all the village ingredients and using them with a twist. Come join me on the Great Food Safari. Let's have some fun. Welcome once again to the Great Food Safari in this beautiful environment. Love the place, love the water, it's so cool. Now, my task was to come and look for stuff that we find in the village and create something, add something into it and create something of my own. I found this very interesting vegetable. They call it the vegetable. Not used at all. A highly neglected vegetable. This is chow chow. We know it as, you know, the famous chow chow, Haryanne, Vedi, that type of chow chow. So this inspired me to make a dish using a bit of beef and using a lot of, what do you say, sweetness and sourness and, you know, add into all that. So what we're going to do first of all is get some nice beef. I've got it on the way from, on the way here. Sliced it into nice, generous pieces. Remember, when you go to the beef stall, don't take what they just give. You know, you're paying for it. So ask for a good piece. You know, study about where you can find the best cut. Sometimes it's a bit more expensive, but it's worth it. Right, I'm going to make a very simple marinade, which I'm going to use it for the marinade and to cook as well. So first of all, take some garlic. Chop, chop, chop. Now what you do is just give it a nice chop. The smaller the better. And it gives a nice flavor. It just takes off all the flavor and just gives it out and makes a perfect marriage with the balanced ingredients that we are going to use. I've got some lime juice here, and I'm going to take some fish sauce. This is extremely salty, so you don't have to put additional salt at all. There we are. Now to balance that saltness, we're going to add the sugar. So remember, lime juice, fish sauce, and then you're going to add in a bit of pepper as well. Do the taste test. Exact way you want it. You get that saltiness coming out and the citrusiness from the limes, and to balance it all up, we got the sugar. Now what we do is put in a bit of the garlic onto this and pour that like that. Put a bit more garlic. And you keep that aside. Let it marinate for a while. Now we are going to use this little baby over here. I've got it all skinned. Now what you want to do is slice it to little battens. about a quarter of an inch. Like that. That would do. And you see the seed, and get rid of that. And now, just like the potato chips, thin slices. That's about it. There we are. Very simple. See some nice, about an inch, half an inch battens. That's what we want. Now all we got to do is heat up the pan. Let it heat up. Once that is hot, put in a bit of oil. In everything that we make, if you want to add spice into it, if you want to add chilies, it's very simple. If you want it to be hot, you can always take some chili flakes and put it up and make it spicy. It's just that sometimes with things like fish sauce, the chili flakes will give it a kind of a weird sensation, but it's all right. You can always use that for those of you who want it nice and hot. Now what we're going to do is take the garlic, put it in. See, the oil is hot and it immediately starts to brown. So better be very careful with the heat control. And now you just toss in your beef. Flambe. Now this has been cooking for a while. I've put the heat down low. Now I'm going to take this and just, not too much, just to balance the amount of meat we have. And again, give it a nice stir. And you remember we had some remaining for the marinade that we used. Put a little bit of that again. Not too much. Put up the fire. Now while that is getting cooked, what I'm going to do is add a bit of color to the whole dish. The same method, a few battens. Toss that in as well. Well, that's going to do. That's going to cook up with the rest of the heat. You don't need that much of heat for the bell pepper. Try to keep it simple. The fragrance is fabulous, right? That's basically done. All we now need is a plate. Stir it, serve it up, and then have a taste of it. We'll do that now. Now let's take it off the heat. How about that? Well, if you want to make it spicy, all you got to do is add some chili and, take it to the level you want it when it comes to spice. But other than that, I suppose this is going on its own is going to be beautiful. Going to have a taste test with the chow chow and the beef. Cheers. Now I'm going to do something very, very interesting, okay? I'm going to use vegetables that are from around this area. Well, of course, we've got this nasty little carrot, which is way up from there. But other than that, it's going to be very simple. It's going to be a deep fried, batter mixed deep fried. I call this the quarter to bite, okay? To start things off, so I've got some beautiful mushrooms. It's nice and clean. There's no dust, there's no mud, nothing. That's there. And I'm going to use some carrot as well. Gonna slice it very thin. Very, very thin. As you can see. Yeah. Then this little baby, just give it a good clean. This is the lotus root or the nelung ala. Beautiful little thing. You can use this for your soups. You can use this for cooking. It's got this amazing texture. And the most beautiful thing is the inside. Look at that lovely little flower. When you're purchasing the lotus root, make sure that both ends of the root is covered. Now, if you see, there are black spots inside the little caves, which means that there is mud gone into it. So you got to be very careful. What I mean is when you're taking the root, now if it's open like this, there is mud inside. So you got to be very careful when you're preparing it. You got to wash it thoroughly so that the mud just goes off, and give these a good rinse. And then we also have some brinjals. You can same way cut it into nice thin thick slices. Now see, here's an interesting thing. There is actually a worm who has dug into this, which means this is out of chemicals. Now, back in the days, I remember when my parents bring this stuff home, everywhere there is a worm and there is some hole and you got to take it off. But nowadays, it's so clean, there are no worms, no insects, nothing. But the moment you come across a wormhole like this, you got to be very happy because it's fresh, it's chemical free, right? And then we have these beautiful lady fingers as well. Ladies' fingers. Now what we're going to do is prepare the batter. This is a very simple batter. I'm not going to use rice flour or flour, anything like that. I'm going to use gram flour, which is we all know as kadalapiti. So I'm going to take this pan over here, and you can buy this from any store, right? The kadalapiti, put it in there. Then we'll add in a bit of turmeric to give the color, just a little bit, salt, and chili. Now, you give it a good stir. Now what I'm going to do is take some fresh water, slowly start adding bits by bits, and this is easier if it's done by hand. So I'm going to use my hand. My hands are clean. Going to put it in. See the turmeric giving it that nice bright yellow. Amazing. There you go. Right. Leave that aside. What we're going to do, put in the oil. And while that is happening, while the oil is getting heated, we are going to put don't overcrowd the oil, because the moment you do that, the oil is going to get colder and then it's not going to cook. So there we are. Right, now the vegetables are done. I'm going to make a very simple sauce to go with it. And then I got a tiny piece of ginger, not too much. This has to be very, very small, because you don't want to be having huge chunks of ginger flavoring your sauce. There we are. That's all you need. Little bit of oil, just a little bit. And while that is happening, you got to eat it while it's hot. Gonna add in that. Give it a quick stir. When you get that smell coming in, then all you got to do is take some ketchup and pour it in. Sugar as well. And give it a stir. That's all. Fire off. And then spread it across evenly. There we are. So simple. Doesn't take time at all. Just a little bit of deep frying, just a little bit of cutting skills, and a perfect sauce to go with it. Fabulous. Well, that is superb. Yeah. Well, hope you enjoyed watching. I want you to try it at home and let me know how it is. Going to be back with you again on the Great Food Safari. Until then, this is me gonna get lost with this yummy little baby. I'm going veg. See you. Well, it's time for me to say bye-bye. Hope you enjoyed the show as much as I enjoyed being with you. I'm going to be joining you again, cooking some fabulous food right here on the Great Food Safari. Till then, this is Krishanta signing off. Bye-bye. See you later.